Jack's in.
Oh, Kisei! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog. Not all heroes wear capes, but at Menulog Mealtime we do. Now look, today, you guys, menu pogs in the chat, $30 Menulog voucher on the line. And if you want to go on the run, and you've got to do that. What's going on? What's so funny?
Oh, your cape has sleeves. That's crazy.
Hey, it's just a thing, man. Look,
Immersion.
don't question it. Don't question
I'm
it.
not.
Either way, I've got the questions for you guys while we do cruise through Menulog Mealtime. Today, I want to hear about your favorite cuisine for dinner. Because every time we try to order dinner, I'm the only one that ever puts a bloody answer up. No one ever tells me what they like. So you're telling me right now, so next week, I know exactly what we're ordering. Hey?
Oh, it's not what I would want to order, but my favorite cuisine is nothing beats a good English roast dinner for me.
Yeah?
Every single time I
Yummy.
go back to the family's place, home cooked meal. We've got your gravy, all your vegetables, and you've got a nice like hearty warm dessert afterwards. And I just feel every problem in the world ceases to exist when that happens, right? Comfort food from when you're a kid.
Is dessert dinner, or is it an extra
That's part of
course
the package.
dinner?
You always have a
or-
slight portion extra reserved for dessert. It's true.
That
It's
is
facts.
true. And bubble tea.
Very
Facts.
true. Rusty, do you get a choice, or are you just jumping in his
I mean,
car?
like, all I'm thinking about now is big breakfast.
Big brekkies?
Big brekkies. Like, we can't.
goes hard too.
Like, you've just
Nothing
set me
wrong.
off on a path, and
Yeah.
right now I just want a big breakfast.
Nothing wrong with
Well,
brekkies.
doesn't
for
even
dinner.
matter what
You
time
mean
of night.
like the mushies and the eggs and a couple
Yeah.
of little sauces, little chipolatas? Yeah.
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 Is it like
We'll
Bacon,
get
egg.
shirts. We'll do our top buttons up. We'll
Yep.
get a Peaky Blinders haircut. We'll go full English one day. Yeah.
yeah? Why not?
Boom. Done.
And then we'll film it. Or do you mean like on broadcast?
Now that'll be us at a big breakfast.
Beautiful.
Then coming into the broadcast, it'll just be endless
We'll see
content.
it at DreamHack. We'll just staunch everyone at the doors.
Yes. Oh yeah. There's cafes in Melbourne. I know there's plenty
Done.
of them. Kitty, what's your favorite cuisine for dinner?
Like Rusty said, I think my favorite is just my comfort food, right? Chinese cuisine. Really goated. I think it's probably one of my favorite cuisines. I think my second favorite would be Japanese. Because
Okay.
I think Korean for me
Ramen.
is popular, but it's too spicy, and I'm not a spice girl.
Neither.
Could have fooled me. Either way, answer was Mexican. You're all wrong. And it's time to start talking about the game. Hey, look, you're allowed to have your
We're getting
opinions.
Mexican next week.
I guess it is happening
Lock
again.
it in.
Yep.
Having Mexican.
We could.
Burrito gang.
Mad Mex goes hard. Kilo burritos. Get in here. Righty. That's why I showed my belly, so you could get in it. Now it's time to start talking match number 2. We got Kanga, we
Good
got
to
Order. Let's talk Kanga first before we go on any more tangents. We got Foreigner, we got Hayden, who is still yet to be unlocked. But Fido, Lemus, Lived, these three have been doing a whole bunch of heavy hitting, Skimmy.
They certainly have, and if TNC hasn't been unlocked, well, he's certainly been unleashed in his performances recently. Looking like a much better player from when he made that initial debut. So really feeling at home, it seems like, with this Lemus partnership that they found themselves in. So I like the identity now that it's a lot more of a well-rounded team, that everybody seems to have their identity solved, that Foreigners come in and seemingly just slotted in quite nicely. It isn't a case of Fido plays a scaling mage that wins in the laning phase. Liv just is that stable ship. Now you've got Lemus just popping off, getting 12 kills as a Lucian. It's great to see.
Yeah, plenty of kills. Man's popping off, and we'll see if that Lucian-Nami combo gets opened up or left open yet again. But Order, they're pretty good in the draft themselves, so we'll see what they pick. But for now, we got Hooper still there in the ADC role, and he impressed us all yesterday, Rusty. That yarn you were spinning about him for the last couple of months,
Yeah.
worked out.
Paid off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Hooper was really good, but he also had a Yuumi with him. And if there's one thing we can note even from last game is that Zera Yuumi is quite a powerful duo.
Yep.
And I would be surprised if they're able to get the exact same duo again. I do think that we're going to see a ban from Kanga towards the Yuumi, but nevertheless, it was good from Order. They actually team fought really well. The later the game went into a team fighting composition.
Yeah.
And the big standout for me was the fact that we saw another Azir player in the LCO, because it's taken a long time for them to slowly adapt to the champion. But Kisei pulled that one out and had a very good late game performance.
Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting one, right? Is it the first time we've seen him play the Azir as well?
I think so.
Maybe there was another one. Either way, he does have a pretty large champ pool for, most of the mid players that we do have here in the LCO. And that mid matchup against Fido is going to be yet another curious one because Fido can play so many interesting champs. And if we do see that Azir coming in, it could be on either side today. However, if Kisei picks that up, then Fido can really school him because he's just going to know the matchup so well, right?
Yeah, we've seen Fido play Azir, Veigar, and Cass as his 3 top played for this patch. And even just overall in the split, so I think this meta really favors him. But Kisei has proved that he's just as good at Azir, and he has a lot more range and variety in his champion pool. He can flex to even assassins if he needs to, like the Irelia. Come on, bring it out! I want to watch it.
True.
So it's gonna be super exciting for mid lane.
It certainly is, and I still don't know which way this one's going to go because we did see a little bit of shakiness coming out of order, at least in the early game yesterday, but Kanga's been looking good, Kanga's been looking solid no matter who they're up against. It feels like, look, that shift in leadership in terms of Fido doing a lot more of the calling, in terms of Calvin, you know, after we heard from the interview, he's been doing a lot of help with the prep as well. You got to remember, Calvin used to be on the order side of things as well, so he really knows a couple of these individuals.
You would have to expect so, right? Like, I'd be surprised if you didn't know most of the squad in and out.
Yeah.
I'm actually expecting a bit of spice today from Kanga in regards to draft. Just expecting for, first of all, a read on order to be seen, and then the adaptation is where I'm most curious because they were the team that brought out the center Cho'Gath. They're also, I think, the team that might be most flexible in draft, and Limas does seem to like throwing a spanner in the works. It seems to be where he excels the most.
Yeah, he certainly does. And I believe someone that has been excelling, someone that's been yelling, someone that's putting a spell on me is Fido. This man, he's beautiful, he's handsome, and he's here for the damn interview. Kitty, do you know my friend Fido?
I, of course, know your friend Fido. Hello.
checking.
Welcome for day 2. So you guys are on a 4-game win streak. What do you think improved in the team to have this boost overall?
I think everybody's just contributing now. And we're playing towards our strengths instead of trying to fix our weaknesses, which is something I'm a big advocate of. Like, I think that the most successful team culture is going to be one where people feel free to do whatever they want to do, whatever they think is good. And then if they make mistakes, they don't feel judged for it or like apprehensive in any way to continue, playing their game.
So, look, we've had a little conversation about how you've shifted into this calling role, and someone mentioned yesterday you've had Calvin doing a little bit of extra help for you guys in terms of the prep work. Him being with Order before, does he have a little bit of extra insight going into today? Are we expecting something spicy?
Oh, look, Calvin just does a lot of work. Like, he does a lot of work for every game. I think he prepares thoroughly. He spends a lot of time drafting and thinking about it. I mean, I remember I told Calvin, I got wrecked by this AP Varus mid. I think this champ's broken. And then 20 minutes later, I've got an essay from Calvin, like 50 lines, and it's titled AP Varus Guide. And he's got all the matchups. He's got the abilities, the usage, the build, the situation. I was like, Calvin, you've got no life, mate. But this is great. This is good stuff.
So now we know who writes all those bloody guides on those guide sites. It's Calvin the whole
That's
time.
Calvin, every guide.
We love a supportive coach like Calvin. I need a coach like him. But I do want to talk about how your champion pool for this split has been just Azir, Cassio, and Veigar. So what do you think of the current meta for this patch? And what do you think of Kisei as a player?
Kisei is great. I think he's definitely one of the best mids in the league. But with all good players, all good players have big egos, so that's where you have to target Order. I think I don't think Order will ban a lot of my champions because their mid's it's fine, which is cool. But yeah, I think Kisei is really good. I'm looking forward to it.
It definitely works out for you. We'll see how that one works out and how you do in mid today, but we'll let you go and get ready for the game. Thanks, Fido.
Thanks, Mac.
And Kitty. Hey, it's all right. Look, he's my bromie. He's my bromance in the league. It's okay. He'll apologize later. He's that kind of guy. He didn't mean to. It was just in the moment. Anyway, look, we've got to talk about this game. We've got to talk about the Dare fan vote. Get your points in. Help me change the subject. Pick a team, any team, put your points on them, and you might double them. You might get a couple. Who knows? Depends on who votes for which team. That's how the dynamics work of these voting systems. But at the same time, how do we think this game's going to go? It's prediction time. And I think this is closer than, one vote buff. Didn't work for you yesterday, but you're still leaning on it.
Might be a curse now.
I've subscribed to the kangaroo hype train, right? So I can't support the Kiwis in this one. So I'm going to go for the next best, which is the Aussies. So I've gone for them here. Now, I'm just a big fan of Fido. I like what he brings to the table, that he certainly can fit the bill of what are a lot of meta control mages. But At the same time, he just seems to win early, which is crazy. I think the one thing I would be looking at is I would imagine they will want to try and target Hooper, make him feel kind of uncomfortable in the bot lane, whether that be from some creative picks, like you mentioned, like a Senna Cho'Gath kind of tech, or just a lot of attention from Foreigner down that way to gank him, to put him under pressure, to say that the rest of the team need to show their experience and their ability to play at this level.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I definitely think Order are the favourites in the matchup, so I went for them, just thinking, oh, you know, I can't afford to go for an underdog pick here just long term. So I'm backing the boys. I'm hoping they don't trip over their feet today, and I'm really believing in Hooper from what we saw yesterday. This man, he may have to flex his champ pool a little bit going into today. I think that, like, if they target Hooper's champs, maybe he could be in trouble. But look, Rusty, you've got more insight on this.
Yeah.
Is his champ pool larger than we expect?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Yeah, he's got champions for days. I just hope that they don't default him to something like Caitlyn instead. Like, yeah, all that.
Ash you.
All right, let's stick to Jinx for now. His Kai'Sa's good. His Zeri was fantastic. So I would expect to see standard from Order. I think that the targeting towards him won't come necessarily from taking away his champions, more so picking things that will deal with him really well.
Yeah.
Right, and like this is one of those situations where I feel like, look, Lemus and Hooper have probably played each other countless times in solo queue, right? Like they're like right up there in terms of like the elo, the challenges, the scoreboards. So they probably definitely, you know, felt out each other's play style, and that's another factor that could go into this match as well.
Yeah, I would say that Limas and Hooper kind of have different champion pools. I know that Hooper is a big fan of Jinx. He likes popping off and get a little bit crazy with it.
Yeah.
But Limas, I do know he plays a bit of support. So potentially he has supported Hooper before. He has gotten used to what he plays like. So he has a bigger, deeper understanding of what the young player does.
Okay, now talk to me about the jungle. What are we going to expect from both of these? You got Foreigner, you got Goodo, two sort of middle towards the top of the table junglers, right, in the league. You know, Foreigner, he's been putting on those crazy performances when he does manage to slide in like the Viego, right? He's one of the overlooked players that we saw, and he popped off on that last week. So if that slides in, he could have a huge performance, you know, still depending on resets, etc., and how the early game goes. But Goodo, he's been going to the Trundles, he's been going for the Belveths. His champ pool is completely different, it seems, at least on paper, than what we've seen from a lot of the other junglers in the league.
I mean, I feel like Goodo has more of a burden on him right now to play towards a specific lane than Foreigner does. I think Foreigner has more creativity to be much more aggressive of his own accord.
Okay, well, let's see who's playing what, because Champ Select is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle yourselves in, because this could go either way.
Certainly could, Max. So let's see which way it does in fact go. Let's load into Champion Select with Kanga Esports to the left-hand side with first pick Prio and a Kalista ban as well.
Yeah, Kalista, very specific ban away there. Yuumi gone as well, so the Zeri-Yuumi combo not just half up, but completely gone, as Order have banned the Zeri side of it themselves, and the Seraphine. So still going to be heavily targeted in regards to bans. We mentioned this like way earlier in the segment, but Yuumi probably going to be banned away by Kanga, so that comes as no surprise. I think that Senna ban is really important against Kanga, because I think that just changes. Limas looks better on Senna than he does on any other champion right now, just full stop. So I think that's a really important ban. It does leave open, like you're seeing, another Wukong lock-in. This is interesting, however, from Order's side, because I will say Hooper is one of the better Aphelios players that I have watched play. In general, I do think he's just an exceptional Aphelios Jinx-type player. So scaling teamfight champions, it's kind of the way to go. Lulu complements that by giving it a stronger laning phase. It's a standard duo, but you have to acknowledge what they've given up in response by revealing their entire bottom lane. That is the same thing that worked yesterday for Kanga. This Goodo's gone Trundle 2.0.
Yeah, it's basically said, all right, Lenia, we're going to give you an out here. We're going to show you what Udyr can do on a slightly stronger team. Worth noting, obviously, that Azir was banned away as well, so no chance for Fido and Kissei to showcase what they can do if they went for a matchup like that. It might now just be a mid lane focus, right? Swain denied on one end. Now Fido's saying, let's ban away this Yone too. That would also have a lot of CC implications, especially with a Lulu to buff them up.
Yeah, so Yone taken off. I wonder what goes next. Fido's going to have to reveal his champion pool, presumably before Kissei does. Biopanther more than likely going to be the blind pick champion or player of the two. especially with so many tanks still left up and available, unless they're looking to flex, like, you know, pull out a Zac 5 pick or something,
Sure.
you know, go crazy. We'll see where they actually opt towards. Udyr does require a little bit of setup in his lanes if he's looking to get a gank off. Tends to be quite a slow, well, moves really fast, but in terms of getting a gank, he just kind of presses bear stand, slaps the ground, and walks at you 10% faster and just says, I'm coming. It's not quite the easiest gank to get off, especially if your opponents can pick Gangplank and just eat oranges.
Yeah.
I would like gank setup in mid from Order, which is a tough ask given that, you know, Azir is gone, level 6 Azir could work. Veigar might be picked away here by Fido. What do you do, Silas?
Well, if that's the case, if a Veigar
Silas
does get locked
banned.
in, you're thinking for the Udyr, don't take Ghost this time. Sure, you're taking Flash, try to get in or out of that cage. Make sure you can actually land that CC if you're going to be the major start of those fights. So Na's going to come out as well. Now we're hovering a LeBlanc, which has been a very long time since we last saw this pick.
But can play hyper aggressively into a Veigar. Does work fine with the cage if you're Wing forwards, because you can go back to your distortion, which is a blink, not a dash. So it can work pretty nicely into the Veigar. And it has the setup that I was looking for in a comp. So they give themselves a very strong mid-jungle 2v2 now. Udyr is very powerful if he's hitting someone. His difficulties come into closing that distance.
Yeah.
Can work nicely into a Wukong who wants to dash forwards. Lucian also skirting around close range in teamfights can be handled decently by Gudo. We will look at his summoner spells as we get in. But at the end, with the full compositions locked in, Kanga, I think, should be really happy with what they have. They were given the Wukong.
Yeah.
They picked the Lucian Nami. Gangplank, really good top lane champion. Fine in the matchup with Na. Everyone should be pretty happy for them. And then Fido's the one place that I think might want to be a little bit afraid more than anyone else.
We say that, and then he seems to always get away with murder. It's crazy how good he has been on these scaling majors so far this split, and I guess now it makes a lot more sense that the Callisto was banned away in that very first rotation. If you want to guarantee that Lucian is just going to be let through again, then you want to make sure that you are actually going to be that lane bully, and you are going to be a menace to contend with. As we saw last night, 12 kills, an absolute stellar performance from him. And long may it continue. We really hope to see that Kanga have turned that new leaf, because if they get a win here today, they will have officially got more wins than in Split 1.
I think I just saw Liv's growing that beard out.
Yeah.
Nervous for Kanga if he's growing the beard out. We have on record that he wins more with his
Beard
with his
buff.
beard gone.
Yep.
We will see. We will see. Order on the other side, we spoke about Kanga's composition. Pretty straightforward stuff from Kanga, right? Team fights, pretty happy scaling into the game. It is fairly close range. Philios Lulu scales so insanely well into their composition when it comes to team fights. Purple weapon for the mid-game skirmishes is going to be pretty important for them as well, right? To assist with the LeBlanc in finding engages and closing distance. So I do think they've put a lot of pressure once again onto their bottom lane 2v2. But the flexibility of Nara in top lane gives lots of angles, lots of executable angles as well for Order. Lots to look forward to in regards to their composition. We just sit here in Ost and we say, what is Udyr even doing? Even though Udyr can work.
It can. And that's going to be the big question, right? What some of the choices will he be running in this one to try and make it work? But certainly to your point about what Order have put together, a lot of pick potential, right? Literally all these champions have the ability to try and start the fight, set up the fight, and guarantee that they win it on their terms. Let's load into the Rift here for that second game of the night. A big chance here. Big test for Kanga, more so than any, to see just how strong they are scaling into this second half of Split 2. As for Order, they are still, by and large, the big favourites coming into this one. A great chance to see how they fare.
So you can see a little bit of a strat here from Order. And we haven't actually spoken about this before on broadcast. I think it's worth pointing out. Kisse starts sweeper. He walks bot lane. He clears a ward with Corporal. It is just the two of them involved in that transaction. What that actually means is that Kisse should be getting level 2 on the first wave. So he sweeps the bot bush. Corporal places a ward to see if something is put down by Kanga, which it is. It gets cleared. He immediately recalls, switches back to a yellow trinket, and gets to start with an experience advantage in mid. So it's a little detail, but level 2 on the first wave in mid is actually GG terms of strength. If Fido has any kind of things like bone plating, which he doesn't even have, he's gone very greedy with the Predator option, then you just proc that early, hit level 2, and just all in trade with the Electrocute afterwards. So great start here from Order. And if that play doesn't work, you just recall switch to yellow trinket anyway. because you don't actually have a cooldown. You don't waste your sweeper. Corporal places the ward to reveal that one.
Yeah, look what he's doing already in this lane. He's certainly feeling himself. Stepping up, staunching before his minions even have a chance to be hit at or even considered. Liv just doing the exact same back to Bio.
A couple of circles
He's
here.
literally running him away back to that turret.
Bio missed the melee minion in terms of experience. I don't think Liv did. So Liv actually does have the experience lead, should hit 2 a minion earlier. That could be really important for him, especially for controlling this lane. Get level 2 first, put down the keg. I just feel like I'm talking about level 2 for the first 2 minutes of this game.
The intricacies of early game league.
Junglers both starting their blue buffs as well. Going to be doing 3 camp clears, playing towards 6 camps on the other side of the map. It seems like they're doing it mostly solo. Will be a little bit slower. So wondering if it's 5 camps into Scuttle Crab. We will see. And in terms of those Scuttles, Kanga are going to be the ones that have their jungler nearby. And Kisei with a very early roam, they're actually fakes putting a ward down. They don't know that the Wukong is at Raptors at this moment, but that's what Kanga think they know. You can see they're actually pinging. Well, there's a ward here twice.
Yeah.
Clearly Foreigner is on a ward. He's not.
Have to see if that changes Foreigner's ideas of how he plays this one out, as Kisei is going to not get stunned out here. Well, I say he just does. Okay, so
just get a stun, just cop a stun real quick.
Just have some ability power. There's a bit of a trade back, and no harm, no foul.
It's actually trimming the wave in mid a little bit as well. Doesn't want a huge one to crash. Goodo now working towards top lane. Actually walks through a ward to get to the Scuttle Crab, so does do 6 camps, but also reveals himself in the process. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Red Weapon does have some sustain, so Hooper should be able to persevere in this 2v2. But with that in mind, if there is a jungler nearby that's threatening a dive, it isn't the safest place. It doesn't seem like Kanga are putting too much effort into the dive itself, but that was a sick trade.
Really good bubble there from TNC, and, well, really the only trade back was an auto attack from the turret. So, still a major, major health advantage for the bot lane of Kanga. And both junglers will reveal themselves as to being in the area.
Goodo actually does top Scuttle, just walks down towards the bottom Scuttle, confirms it's gone, and then recalls. I mean, he protects his bottom lane from a dive, I suppose. But there's a lot of time wasted, unfortunately, for the jungler of Order, where he could have been resetting straight towards bottom, knowing that the Grump would be up.
That wasn't enough. Tyquiller's blessing. I thought it might have just been enough there. The Gravitum is there. The bubble is on! With the last stretch of mana, TNC tries to square up another opportunity for them. But now Hooper's in so much trouble. He has to go back, surely.
Corporal has heal, Hooper has exhaust. It'd need to be an immediate heal from Corporal. So this is going to be a reaction time test for sure.
Foreigner's here, he's jumped across the wall, so the clones would have been burnt. Goodo's going to protect his bot lane for the meantime as they try and guarantee, if anything else, just guaranteed XP.
Goodo wins 1v1 here.
He does. He's popped the ghost, you flashed away, but he's just going to run you down. In Phoenix stance, he gets it done. That's first blood. He wants 2, Rusty. Oh. Okay, maybe he doesn't. He had the red buff. I thought he was.
I feel like he actually might win that, but doesn't matter. he's just going to walk away. It does mean that the bottom lane 2v2 of Order gets saved by the Udyr. Foreigner never really has a chance to win the 1v1. The fact that he got caught there. Good shield.
Bubble again, but the damage all went onto Hooper despite the CC going that way. Goodo's on the way once again. Corpus actually got the kill. The plan has backfired terribly here from Kanga. TNC is a sitting duck, and he is gone for good.
And that is now a very large jungler for Order. The fact that Hooper and Corporal essentially just win a 2v2 anyway is just insane. They've been struggling in their lane. They've been gifted an out by Kanga, who really did actively choose to overstay in that wave to cheese. And so the fact that that cheese doesn't just get punished, but gets completely whipped back into their faces is devastating. Really hurts what could have been a free base into extra tempo down in bottom lane. Completely gone.
Going to be kicking himself so much so, given the fact that Hooper was literally 1 minion auto attack away from falling over. But Goodo, right place, right time, protects and ensures that, yeah, as you say, they punish the greed of Kanga searching for that initial first blood. Let's see what happens here in the mid lane, though, as Kisei continues to skirt around this cage, jumping on in, looking for the final blow, looking for the kill. Corporal's in the area, and Corporal's got another! Lulu is now the second most fed member in this game.
I mean, yeah, it's a shame that Lulu gets that kill. 100%, that does kind of suck for Order, but they do the right things, right? Corporal resets towards mid, is able to protect Kisei, who was locked in a cage, but at the same time, I don't think he was really at threat of dying. As best case scenario for Kanga, they might have forced his flash. And that's best case scenario. And they'll end up getting an extra kill on top of all of that. Order just really coasting, just doing what is required of them and succeeding as a result. Kanga are the ones that I think are just throwing everything possible at them, and it's all failing.
Certainly had a fair few Hail Mary attempts here. Tried to flip the game very early on, and it certainly hasn't landed on heads for them. So we'll have to see how they can try and salvage this one. Very similar situation, I suppose, to yesterday up against the game with Mammoth. Fell behind, but managed to salvage it later on.
Lived now walking mid, and a Vega Gangplank is not the most common duo, but we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, well, he can blink back, but he has to wait for that cage to drop on down. Liv is still on the way, but that's all it's going to be. Literally, I am on my way pinging. Gudo's going to wrap around, but we've got two fights taking place between mid and bot. Hooper, very low, he's burning, and Foreigner comes in, and a clutch shield there from Lulu. But the Glitter Lance wasn't enough, and Hooper doesn't find the angle. The turret's not going to hit him. The minions are dying. Foreigner tried to gift it to Lelouch, but he steals it away for himself in the end.
Yeah, really just stuck there and resigned to death. Hooper just does a couple of circles and tries to live for as long as he can. Throws down a turret and prays that it connects to Limas. But Kanga just a little bit too quick on the uptake there. They'll get themselves a really nice fight, and they'll also crash a monster wave, and that sucks for the bot lane of Order. If you consider how bad it was for them early game, and how bad this game could be, they've really been gifted a get out of jail free card.
They're so patient, lands the double kegs.
But just level 5. There's
they
no
just
way.
watched the blue buff go.
There's no shot. I feel like realistically, you just try and steal the Gromp there and nothing else. 2 levels down. We'll see what happens here because it is a dash forwards that gets responded to. Hooper flashing in. My man's going crazy. Then uses the green weapon Q onto a minion. And the turret's not going to find any targets. I mean, look, he had the reaction time to flash Skibby. Maybe in a different direction. Could have been good. Perhaps just was confident enough that he would win it and didn't see the minion there.
Nice one angle, and I respect it. Not going to say I'm feeling the nerves on a stage game. Forget scrims, forget solo queue. Doing it for the world to see. And wanted to try and claw back that deficit from losing that massive wave. Gudo just kind of hits Ghost and like says, well, come touch me.
Vega caged himself in.
He's hit the clone, not the target you're after. The Herald is still there for the meantime, hasn't reset. Now going to switch his aggro across to Gudo. As you say, Bio top of your screen, looking for Mega. Has a flash as well, could hit a massive stun based on Kanga's positioning.
Corporal here and level 6. TNC is not. I don't think they can contest Order.
Kanga want to try and wait out this one. Bio flashing in, and that's a 2-man stun up against the wall. TNC and Fido can't do much about it, but now all of Order are fighting inside the cannon barrage. Lived, flashing forward to try and take out the Nile, but can't find it with the pistol. Is going to die in the process. And that is a disaster because they lose the fight and they lose the Herald.
I really feel like Kanga just chose. They opted in, and that was optional. They opted into throwing away the game at that Rift Herald. That fight is unnecessary. Corporal has a level ahead. TNC doesn't have ultimate. There's no way that the Veigar cage is going to lock down a LeBlanc, who's the one person caught in the area. And then they just kind of take it down to what feels like a 50-50 smite battle. Even slightly miscalculated there by Gudo doesn't matter. But the rest of the team double down with him. They don't turn it into a smite 50-50. They turn it into a skirmish and a smite.
Lived just getting completely baited by the shield as well as the summoner heal there from Corporal to try and land that finishing blow. And certainly put himself in harm's way. Fell on down and now Order. At 10 minutes in, are only going to now look to go for that very first Drake, having taken the Herald as well. And a big opportunity for them to try and break open that gold lead to some pretty big margins.
So much of this right now does revolve through the jungler of the team, though. Corporal, of course, quite fed, suffice to say. Kanga, I would say, still have themselves a stronger 2v2 bottom lane. I think top's been farming perfectly even. That was really the first time we've seen them both get into the mix, and by, of course, hitting Mega now at the right time. This is not the first time we've spoken about Order and their setup for Rift Heralds being quite good. Of course, playing towards Biopanther's side of the map. That makes sense. He knows what he's doing when it comes to wave manipulation, control, and actually setting up. Lived just seems to really enjoy an excursion to mid lane.
Just seems to be permanently pushing and roaming, doesn't he? Down to bot lane we go, and now Limas with the last stretch of mana hits the culling. Can't hit Hooper, but he can hit the minion wave at least.
Yeah, he actually was culling to clear the wave, it feels like. Foreigner, he needs to respect. Hooper had ult that entire time, and I think if they were paying attention to the flash cooldown of Limas, it isn't up until about now. So there might have been an angle there, but they choose to be cautious, and that's totally respectable. Again, the rest of the map is winning. There's no need to do too much. Just to coast, just exist. Let your Udyr and your LeBlanc work and control the map as a result of that.
Maybe there will be a moment, though, when he does come back to lane with that Gale Force item spike, the first mythic in the game. Maybe an opportunity to try and make matters better for them. Exhaust obviously there for Hooper, but Cleanse to counteract it. Question does become now, where can Kanga look to try and find their lead back into this?
Well, the Gangplank farming even is going to slowly pull ahead in terms of money. The Veigar farming even is going to slowly get more ability power than a LeBlanc. There are things to look forward to in that regard. Just existing in this game is a direct advantage for them. There is still a very sore spot of the kill threat this LeBlanc has. You pick Nami, you get one hit.
Yeah.
Lulu existing means it's very difficult to kill anyone on the other side of the coin here. And Gudo is actually so fed. Imagine having a Lulu to support that.
Yeah, a little bit too strong. Cheeky little bubble goes on to old Shelly, but she cannot be disabled, won't be deterred from going for the headbutt, so a few extra plates, a blast cone away for good measure, but nothing really going to come about from that one. Gudo still pressing forward and just pops his head in and says, another blue buff we're going to steal away from you.
And it is an interesting comp from Kanga. I don't know if we'll get to talk about it too much. Cage is on.
Tidal wave goes, is it going to hit anybody? No, but it parts the sea like Moses. Out goes the wild growth on towards Kisa, who dashes across the water, safety to the rest of his team. Gudo just going to run down, lived underneath his tier 2. Tier 1's still there, but disrespect. And with the ghost, guarantees the kill.
Yeah, and Kisei will actually go back to his distortion, hit the chains, force the flash, and both summoners out of TNC as well. Meanwhile, we've just got a lot of farming happening bot lane. Still control there for the side of Kanga as Order, or Hooper rather, fancies himself a cheeky go now that he's switched to the white weapon.
He said it all.
This would be a 1v2 if he commits to it. So I don't think he will. And Lulu's going to be here, so there's going to be no dive. If Kanga go for this one, that would be a little bit much. Still huge fight for Order. Back-to-back skirmishes going their way. Now 7-1 in kills. This game swinging very favorably for them.
Got the Moonlight Vigil, but not really the ideal weapon setup right now to try and force their fight and run them down this lane. We just have to be content for what it is right now.
Jungler did just show to push mid lane for Fido, so they do know that they're in an isolated 2v2 if it was a play they wanted to take. But they also know their own jungler won't be in the mix. LeBlanc now going to veer towards the bottom side of the map. Will be spotted on vision the entire way if she were to roam. And Kanga just looking for a reset. So the game's going to continue, but it's going to continue in an even state with Order having a lead. Nice stun.
Yeah, great stun up against the wall there by a copper turret shot, but doesn't really care. Shrugs off all that pain and delivers it much more to Lived.
I didn't know you could animation cancel the wallop with the jump. It's the first time I've actually seen that, I think. Most people animation cancel the ultimate, right? Because you hop and then scoop mid-first hop. I hadn't seen the W use. That was cool.
Incredibly hard to try and flash out of that combo at that point.
Yeah. Orange just did nothing.
No. Well, it really has all started with Gudo, hasn't it, this game? 3-0-2. He certainly just popped his head into bot lane, got a kill for free. Really, a flash for a ghost. Ran him on down. Not very often you will see an Udyr have the most gold in the game.
It is doing well, which is very rare in the LCO. Bait's happened. Chains are on.
Chains are certainly on,
And
but
they're
they're
off.
going to be broken. Quite easy at that. Nice bubble.
You don't bother. You don't bother.
That's about all it is, right? It's a nice bubble, that's it.
Don't even bother. You're just going to phase the raid boss and he'd be even stronger. Let it go.
Oh, well, Foreigner doesn't want to let it go. He actually commits. He's jumped on in, and he completely regrets his decision-making. A little bit of a disconnect, it felt like, between himself and Fido, who just didn't have the range, the ability to back him up.
He definitely did commit to dying. Meanwhile, bottom lane, this is a huge flank from Gudo.
Massive flank with that blast cone. Tidal wave comes out nice and early. Is there to bubble as well? There certainly is. Wild growth on
No
his
tower.
head. One target in mind. You don't have a turret. You don't have protection. You've been polyed. You're dead. You're gone. You can hit the flash, but it's far too late. How do you run away from death? And now Hooper fancies it. That's the Moonlight Vigil with the Gravitum. Nice bubble to delay the initial cast. He's been slowed, but underneath this turret, and especially now with the Summoner Heal, he'll be taken down for free.
Yeah, a lot of time actually wasted there by Hooper without using the ultimate, but eventually realizes his R button is ready. We'll throw that one out, and then the team can follow through. Udyr, while we said, can just kind of walk at you menacingly. when he's ahead, it really is menacingly, and it's quite terrifying to deal with. Now 5-0 with 10 stacks on his Dark Steel. I feel like the actual Giga Chad move from him here is a Medjai's, just out the gates.
Yeah.
Should feel pretty much unkillable at this point. He'll be sitting very pretty with those stacks coming through for free.
Surely once you hit the Frozen Heart, I mean, both Lived and Lemus are just crying. I mean, how can they play the game?
Yeah, and Foreigner, who now is a non-factor, even compared to those two already. Nevega doesn't really want to be hitting him.
Lemus flashing forward, crunch the numbers, and crunch the kill, but he's crunched himself in the process, and that's heartbreak, but huge commendations to Kisse there.
Hey, this time around, Lemas flashes forwards and actually trades, so that's an improvement from yesterday. Order will, however, lock down the Heralds, so they're not like... It's not like they've lost anything. They're not at a loss in general with this map state either. Flip the map towards top lane. They're actually looking towards the bot lane outer turret if you were Phyto. As much damage as he can possibly do to that one. Fire Panther, of course, trying to respect where this Wukong could be. He's going to walk with Gudo, and they are going to find him at blue. Foreigner needs to run.
Not going to be as easy for Foreigner to try and steal away the blue buff, much like Gudo has.
Teleport
Blast Cone, he's got the angle. Second charge of the Cyclone knocks him up. But you just can't run away from him. He's a steam train pressing forward. And Phyto has to defensively use their TB just to get out of harm's way.
Yeah, puts the cager out himself. He's actually looking for Corporal here.
A complete wrap around topside. Tidal Wave goes up. Got an up Corporal. He's in trouble. A self-cut of the ult and a flash and a Gale Force. And a runaway here from Hooper. Really now, Kanga have thrown everything and the kitchen sink at him. The cannon barrage lands, and Phyto's the one with the killing blow.
And they will find themselves the second kill. Question mark pings go out onto the top of Corporal's head. Where are you going? Literally, where are you going, man? What's there for you? Your whole team's fighting on the other side of the map. You know, the mid lane is teleported away. I mean, credit to Phyto for the teleport position. Actually still active on the map after getting the turret. 5,000 gold down, but still find themselves making some positive plays, and there's a lot to be happy about for Kanga in that respect.
Kisse is very strong.
Lemas, what on earth?
He's very strong.
He tried to jump scare the LeBlanc, and LeBlanc just turns and burns him.
That
What are you?
Not PG rated at all.
What are you doing? What is he doing?
You let me know when you find out.
He's been watching T1 VODs. He saw a hyper-aggressive Lucian and thought, this is my moment. And he's thought that every moment since he saw it.
I guess you do need that mentality though as a Lucian player. Every kill's a kill, or every opportunity's a kill rather.
Every kill is indeed a kill.
And that's facts.
I
You can't
can't
argue.
argue.
You cannot argue with that.
Spit and fire.
Stay tuned for more base takes like that.
You miss 100% of the hooks you miss.
True.
Nothing's more based than that.
Oh, the flash forward. Ah, the cage is on. Wildgrowth is there. Do they have enough protection to lock him down? No. They cannot survive the amount of raw CC and burst that those two together can look to outlaw down.
Yeah.
Hasn't been really the game in terms of KDAs for these AD carries, but especially the top half of Order, stellar.
Both ADs being heavily targeted. Gudo gonna have a look in mid, teleports in.
Yeah, Gudo's the focus right now, but he's that raid boss. He kind of just soaked it all up. Turtle form is there, down to 50%, doesn't really care. Kisse, completely outside of vision, just destroys Foreigner. The chains proc, and he is just gone. Kisse could be in trouble, but lived. He's trying to juke and jive and figure out where on earth is he going to distort to
Almost
next.
Meganar.
Bio is there. He does have a flash, but the angle wouldn't be too good for him to try and hit them up against the wall. Surely you're looking at the dragon instead now.
Yeah, Gudo actually just soaks everything. Walks mid, clears the wave, makes sure there was no play. They face check Kisse, and he's able to lock someone down now 1-5. We spoke about ADs having a rough game, and while that's true, that Wukong's having it worse. Charge still secures the turret. Kisse once again back and active. He must dash it towards him. Knows full well there was cooldowns this time. Can't get one hit.
Yeah, the bot laner Kanga dodging out the skill shots there from the LeBlanc, so making sure he won't find himself another cheeky one shot here in the mid lane. But the headbutt did go off. Nice position there from Gudo where he summoned it, even if Kanga were members strong to try and stop it. Second Herald, second charge, and second turret for them in a row. Order, 3 Drakes back to back.
Feeling very happy with the game state. Once again, an unkillable Udyr only gets worse. They really just need the Aphelios to be more present on the map. More protected by the team for sure, as it has just been Corporal with him, but at the same time, they'll start to group around mid more and more as time passes, and it'll be much easier to be Hooper, much harder to be Limas in response to that, of course. Bit of a 4v4, isn't it? You think about it?
It does feel like that way, doesn't it?
Each team has taken out a player, the piece removed from the map, but one team can have a freely farming Aphelios, the other team's got it a lot harder. Foreigner will not touch a jungle camp. David hits the keg, gives him a pat on the back and says, good luck with that red buff, bud. It's pointless.
But he does just give him a scratch.
Is that a collector on that gangplank?
Could be the makings of.
I mean, I'm just looking at armor on Biopanther and Goodo and thinking, what good is it?
Do love ourselves some itemization discussions. Uh-oh, Foreigner, you're in trouble. Completely surrounded. He's going to have to run towards their turret, get himself an objective bounty, and then get himself the hell out of dodge.
Hey, I think it's worth it. His life is not worth as much as that bounty. He may lose a Baron for it if he dies. And a full flank here from Order if they choose to go for it. But Kanga are going to play distraction.
Oh! They found two! They're going to... Oh! Hooper's just gone! One shot, destroyed. Tragedy that it is TNC that picks up the kill.
Looking for an
but that's the
angle.
second objective bounty. Foreigner on the biggest trek from top to mid. Regroups of his team. And somehow, Kanga come out on top.
Order have lost their heads. They're so caught up in chasing the Wukong, trying to defend their own turrets, they've forgotten about mid in the process.
Uh-oh, Kisei. This time the chains don't connect. He's got to flash away. Foreigner's keen. Summoner healer's there. It wasn't really going to be the damage to try and follow him up unless Foreigner really went for it with a flash and a smite.
Summoner heal there? This game is starting to confuse me more and more.
It's on the edge.
The fact that Kanga have brought this back to a 4,000 gold difference is, like, again, a positive for them. Full credit, they're finding picks, they're grouping up as 5, their split pushing has been really solid. Foreigner pulls out a magician's trick as a result of his team pressuring the mid lane outer turret. And they will get it, they will get the top lane outer, they will also get a kill from it. Hooper having a shocker. But it feels like Order aren't really doing anything cohesive either. Right now, I think they're happy they've got a Mountain Soul to look at. I think they're happy that they've got a very free win condition to look towards. And I just don't think this Udyr ever dies. Did pick up the Magi's, by the way. He's a Giga Chad.
He did. I was just laughing at the fact because it looked like there for a second that Foreigner was actually going to hold that blue buff with Fido on his way. Didn't happen.
We know that Fido is very passionate about those blue buffs, so may go straight towards the enemy blue buff to see if it's there. That is standard Kanga tech. Drake in a minute, though. Vision should be around this area.
25 minutes in, and yeah, as you say, huge credits that they brought this game back because that was a huge gold lead that Order had before. Oh, Kisei's jumped in. He's looking for it. He's not going to find it. He has been shut down. What is with supports in this game? Getting all the shutdowns, getting all the kills, all the glory. 2 apiece now for the Nami Nalulu. Enchanter's on top. It's been the story all this split. A Cyclone to a flanking Goodo. He's 5-0-3. Get the bubble, get the flash, get the kill, get the shutdown. There it is. Limas finds it with a flash forward. The Majaya stacks gone. The Giga Chad Udyr gone. And same now for Corporal, and Order really have just lost their heads.
They've lost the plot. Order have checked out of this game right now. They're focusing on next week. Biopanther is trying his best, but they've lost everybody. And the sole point that they are looking at, and the checkmate that they are threatening is completely gone. And they look mid again.
Yeah, Limas is keen. As soon as he gets that buff, you know he's dashing forward, acting like a tank and a DPS at the same time. But the Drake has spawned. That's another 5 minutes. Pick it up and get out. Kisei's here.
Mind controlling them. That's the thing. And this has spent, like, time-wise, they've spent so much of it just looking. There's a hop straight into the cage. Biopanther gets chunked out. Yeah, he's probably just dead. Oh, no, you need to hit another stun, actually. There's no shot. He's too quick.
Yeah, no magic resist, but still. Looks like he's got the Sterex active ready to go.
Okay, maybe maybe now, everyone can take a deep breath in, they can relax, and they can go back to playing normal League of Legends. When Veigar puts a cage down, it is not mandatory that you run into it and stun yourself.
Okay.
There has been a couple of really nice combos from Kanga where they use a Gangplank ult to make sure that the cage will stun them or at least lock them inside. It's very dangerous when that works. And in this last case, Kisei tries to W over the wall and just gets spotted by Vision, immediately locked in. Didn't really have a good way out for him. No flash. And no flash there for everybody on order presently. Same can be said for Kanga bar Liv. So I would say right now, we are looking at a very volatile map state.
Just looking at the fact that TNC's picked up a redemption, we've just gone fully into the idea of a cage, a cannon barrage, and a redemption on your head. We're staying alive, you're falling down, we're guaranteeing that in that small window, things will take place.
Big danger circles.
For sure.
Absolutely, the redemption's quite strong. Especially when you're looking for those team fights, the big AoE utility from it. There's no real hill cut there as well from Order as a whole. So currently still maximum value.
Pinging furiously on the map at the moment. Obviously, Baron's the only thing up and available, so side lanes become that much more important. You can see Order putting a lot more presence towards that.
Also, Fido being a primary shot caller in this team on the Veigar helps a lot, being able to put the cages down, have the follow-up there from him. So it's probably him pinging wildly, Kanga. If we actually look at what they're doing right now, we can acknowledge that there is a Scuttle Crab secured by Order, preventing an immediate Baron unless they sneak it. And I do think that Kanga overall would rather bait the objective than do it. Lived might be in a bit of trouble here.
Order want to take matters into their own hand right now. And Gnar into his own turret and a stun on his head. What can you do? I mean, you can cannon barrage, but you can't take down the Bruiser boys like that. Order take matters back into their own hands.
Yeah, and finally, right, they slow the game down. They get to play at their own pace. BioPanther 100% gets this objective. Kanga are baiting, and they are whiffing absolutely everything. And Gudo gets here. Bio still hitting bottom. Teleport ready. If you try and respond to him, Order get to play for the Baron buff. They've been checkmated.
Oh, no, Rusty. You really hate to see that. A massive moment of indecision between the jungle and the support of Kanga. Are we going? Are we not? Are we finding a pick? We're not too sure. Threatened by, as you say, Bio just split pushing for free after getting that kill onto their own top laner. Lemus now wants to try and be a hero. Gonna jump on him, but lose vision. Cannot take out Hooper. I'm sure Order are quite content thinking, well, you know, the Baron can be that alluring target, but we can just play patiently for another chance at that sole point.
And TNC very visibly recalling there, is going to continue to do so after a brief delay. It means that Order will be able to look at that and get themselves a free reset, knowing full well that they'll be back onto the map at the same time. BioPanther also now going to start grouping up a little bit more with his team, as you've got Drake in a minute 40. And I think realistically what we saw was Kanga have shown their hand that they don't want to do Baron. They would rather bait Baron, and Order just call that bluff. You can have as much control as you want around the Baron buff. We don't care.
We just won't go there.
We know you're not doing it. We know you're baiting it. So we'll make a play bottom, and we'll dare you to hit it. If you haven't already started it, it's too late.
Yeah, it certainly is. They had no counter punch, and that's the big thing, because before it was literally a 1k gap that they brought this game back to, and just like that, it's back to 4 like it was before.
Still pressuring mid lane is Kanga. Predator used there by Fido, looking to zone them away, threatening the cage without wasting it. Teleports coming through.
Massive flank, both from the Gnar as well as LeBlanc, who's literally run all the way from bot lane to the wraparound here. Shrelia's being popped, trying to get Gudo in. He doesn't have Ghost, but there goes the cage, the turnaround. They're looking for the Udyr. Kisei unchecked and untouched. He could just literally jump in and one-shot somebody right now, but he's been knocked off. He's distorted away, and they flash Gale Force to take him out of the fight. Gudo goes golden, but he jumps on through and dies in a heartbeat. Now Hooper finally gets himself into the fold of things and gets his first double kill of this game. Foreigner gonna die. There's the triple. They're running them down. Bio leaps into action with a flash to follow. Misses the boulder, but they've got the Lulu shields.
They still win the team fight pretty handily. There is Order. While Kisei dies, he uses his life to make sure that everybody was chunked out. Fantastic combo out of the LeBlanc. Baron going to be started here by Order. No response from Kanga whatsoever. They might look to sneak away this Drake as fast as they possibly can to deny the soul, and that'll give them something. But at the end of the day, Order just too strong when they choose the fight on their terms.
Certainly are. That is the silver lining. You've stolen away another Drake. You potentially bought yourself a little bit more time, but so much attention, so much panic being stuck in this mid lane.
And this fight starts by just trapping Gudo, who has a Lulu to support. So realistically, is not going to die. Kisei gets in, hits a double distort, and they all flash towards securing him. But Hooper gets the flash forwards at the same time, gets supported by his team here while locked in a cage. It doesn't matter. And they're kind enough to give him this third kill to reset his KDA. So Hooper looking like he had a normal game in the end, even though he's been heavily punished early. He's got himself a 500 gold bounty here as well.
Certainly has. And a huge fight for Order to win, basically creating that split pressure and splitting the attention of Kanga as to, well, where are you going to go left, are you going to go right? And ultimately, everybody feeling the wrath of this LeBlanc, because it does things like this, Rusty. I mean, what more?
Just deleted. Absolutely taken apart. Lucian, Cleanse isn't going to help you from damage. No flash there. Chains connect and Order. Kisei says it is time to win. He's going to go back to base with teleport in hand, so he's going to have full health. And Gudo split pushing on this Udyr.
So he is. With Baron buff, these are looking like two very gone lanes. Even TNC now preemptively trying to chuck out the bubble.
That's twice he's done that in a row. Meanwhile,
not going to be scared by three members that walk up to him, because Kisei just says, I'm here to back you up. It doesn't matter if you're an AD carry, you can be a GP. You're just going to get dropped in a combo in an instant, and in a moment like this. Kanga fighting for their life inside their fountain as they respawn, as Lemus regroups and rejoins. Gudo just doesn't take damage. The Nexus will, and Order close it out at 33.
And you know BioPanther is just a respectable, normal top laner who wants the game to end. I think other teams might actually sit there at the fountain and dive you off cooldown for the next 30 seconds, but Bio says, I'm done. I'm sick of this game. Let's get out of here. And they will find themselves, I want to say, a fairly simple victory by the very end. But it was tough to get there. There was a lot of pressure towards bot lane. They were absolutely struggling in their 2v2. In saying that, Corporal still found himself a ridiculous KDA for a Lulu, as he was active and doing a lot of good work.
He certainly was. They had a moment where they looked like they'd lost their head and entertained the idea of Kanga having a few moments of their own to try and claw it back, but the composure came back in an instant, and I guess that's that experience coming out in full fold.
That was like there was a point where it was like a 6k gold lead, and it just bounced straight back to like within a 1k gold lead when Kanga were doing everything right, and then they got Baron, like Order got Baron, all of a sudden it's back to the 5k gold lead, and I'm just like, what's going on? What's going to change here for Order? And all I saw was Kisei just darting across the screen, hitting skill shots, hitting chains. This man was just dishing damage at the end and had so much kill threat. That's exactly why you saw Foreigner try to play Ring Around the Rosie for the good 2 minutes at that like mid-game point, if you remember, after he took that top T1. Either way, a very entertaining game. I got a little worried when I saw Gudo locking in that Udyr, because we have not seen too much good Udyr gameplay. But this was what you kind of expect as Udyr.
Yes.
Right? This is a Udyr being Udyr, isn't it, Kitty?
Yep, this is definitely Udyr being Udyr himself, getting that early lead from Wukong. But Lucian and Nami has officially lost in the LCO. Can we please get an F in the chat? Thank you, everyone. Very depressing.
First time.
But Corporal actually was the difference in a lot of those mid skirmishes. He was there being a proactive support. He made the 2v2 into 2v3, where I believe it was a 2-for-0 kind of trade. And Corporal was also level 6 for that Rift Herald fight, where it ended up being the difference, because I believe the person they were going for didn't get one shot because of that Lulu ult. And they used every spell on Udyr in this specific fight, and Udyr didn't die, so it was quite a fail. And I think that's the entirety of Kanga's comp. They try to cage someone, they try to kill him, and they just make little picks of that. But it didn't end up working, and I believe they used 2 flashes for no reason, so it was quite depressing from that. And Hooper made had a redemption arc, so good.
I feel like a lot of this game came down to, like, if Kanga are controlling a front-to-back team fight, they were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Where if Order were able to get flanks, or like the ability to get around the Veigar cage, then they were the ones who would end up winning the fight. So that's why we saw a lot of picks happen, right? Where they would lock them not just by stunning them on the cage, but locking them in the cage.
Yeah.
And the fights that Order started winning was like a teleport flank from a LeBlanc and a Nah. That's really what this game started to boil down to.
Well, there you go. All those kills at the end, all the bloody towers, almost turned it into a 10k gold lead at the end. But again, you know, you could see just how close this game could have been with all those mid-game skirmishes. Kisei leading the charge with 29k damage, just doing work there on the LeBlanc. We were kind of interested. You guys pointed it out early. You know, he went and got that sweeper kill onto the ward, and that just let him have that lead. So unfortunately for Fido, just couldn't get too much going on in lane. Did manage to, you know, hit his cage a few times because Kisei sort of just walked into it. But at the same time, it didn't really allow him to get those big picks onto Kisei, get that lead. So look, the respect was there, but unfortunately, Kisei, he was just cracked with it today.
He was, yeah. He was a massive nuisance. You know, just the ability to land that full CC combo, or just the full combo as a LeBlanc, right? Just jumping on in the fadeaway chains. You just like, yeah, literally 2 chains. He's just a rap artist on Spotify playlists, just getting it done, just beatbox in the background, just saying shoo, as he's just distorting away. I mean, it was just clean. I love it.
I know someone that's got like the look to get into the rap game, and that's actually Bio. We've got him here to have a look at him. Don't say anything just yet, but oh, he's looking real pretty, isn't he? You're supposed to say yes, Kitty.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
so
Yeah.
Congratulations on your win, Bio. I think you would look epic as a rap artist on SoundCloud.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Oh, he's so sweet. Okay, well, let's talk about your game that you just had.
Yep.
So you guys had a really good fight in that Rift Herald area where you guys came out on top. So did you guys have that read, or just you guys were just being proactive?
I think for us, we really prioritize like first Rift Herald as a team. I think if you're like the better team, Rift Herald is like way better than Dragon Stacking. Dragon Stacking is really slow and like you lose a lot of tempo, and it's like, I don't know, like it's just, I feel like Rift Herald explodes the game, and like if we broke mid tower, which we did with like 2 Heralds, once mid tower's down, Vega is really hard to play, and we just had to go into the 1-3-1 to actually like execute our strategy. We kind of messed up mid game, but I'm just really happy that we got the win at the end of the day.
Yeah, very good. I know you've got a big voice in the team. Tell me about Hooper. Is he talking a lot? Is he anxious? Is he feeling it? Because that was a rough start to the game for him, but he did manage to bring it back.
He just keeps talking about his nerves. Like literally every time we get into game, he's always nervous, and we're always like, "No, you're fine." Like he's like, "I play so bad, it's crazy." No, I'm like, it's completely fine. Like for him, it's like his second game, and like I'm really proud that like he's doing well, and like he has so much potential, and like hopefully like he learns more from all these games.
Yeah, 2 games, 2 big dubs. Like nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
If he's watching,
like literally, he's 2-0. Like what's to be nervous about?
Exactly.
Gets to learn under Biopanther, the person that will smurfing at Worlds. Well, you guys did respond to Kanga's first pick, which was the Wukong with an Udyr, and we did see that Udyr did extremely well in the early game. So was it something that Gudo asked for, or was it something that you guys prepared?
For me, like we're drafting for it, but like I wanted him to pick it on 3 because if he picks it earlier, the only problem I have with Udyr is that if they do show hyper carry bot lane, Udyr has no threat, and if we don't have like a kill bot lane, then like if they pick Aphelios or Jinx, they can like free scale for free, and like it's very punishing if he picks Udyr, even though he can clear faster than Wukong. So I wanted to pick it when they showed their bot lane. Their bot lane was a weak bot lane, like it was Lucian Nami, so like very short range, so Udyr can punish that. So I'm happy with the pick. It's just that like Udyr should be just picked based on like the situation.
Very good. And it looked pretty damn good as well. So we'll see if he gets the MVP. Yeah. Do you want the MVP? Their MVP today?
I think Kisei kind of 1v5 that game, not gonna lie.
Okay, well,
yeah, he really 1v5'd.
Keep his name in mind for this one. Anyway, we'll let you go, Bio. Enjoy the double dub week, mate.
Alright, thank you, King.
Oh, he's so sweet.
He knew. I got my crown here. I've just been waiting for so long for someone to say that to me. But I don't get the Dare MVP, though. So let's talk about that. Who does? Really?
Oh, man.
There's only one man.
I already mentioned Kisei was an absolute smurfable. Gudo was phenomenal in the early game, right? Just getting the kills to really kickstart their game. And obviously, Corporal got hella fed, so his shields were just on point. And that just people wouldn't die. But I'm always mesmerized when a LeBlanc just 1v9s like that.
Yeah.
It's clean.
I'll listen to Bio.
I
can't argue with Bio.
He's a king.
Yeah.
He complimented me. I'll listen to his opinion.
What,
do you have an honorable mention?
No, I don't have an honorable mention because there's a clear MVP.
Everybody
for
else
this
sucked,
game.
actually.
But
No.
I mentioned that I wanted to see Kisei on Assassins because he's so good at them, and that's exactly what he gave us. Kisei?
So he gave us entertainment. We give him the Dare MVP for game number 2 of the day. And he's sleeping.
Again?
Bullshit. I call bullshit. Kisei, you're not allowed to sleep like that, all right? No sleeping on the job. 55% KP, but big damage on the LeBlanc, 36%.
Job's not done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
He can sleep
Good
all he
for
wants.
it.
Job's done.
Bring me back to that playoffs hype video. That was pretty smooth from Order.
Certainly was. Kiss A, big performance. I think he's definitely been due for like an MVP or two that he might have missed in the past on his real good games. I can't think of any specifically, but what I can think of is we're halfway through the day. We've got 2 more games to get to. It's time for a break. But after this, coming up, Game 3, Mammoths and Gravitas.
Huge flank from Goodo.
Massive flank with that blast cone. Tidal Wave comes out nice and early. Is there the bubble as well? There certainly is. Wild Growth on
No
his
tower.
head. One target in mind. You don't have a turret. You don't have protection. You've been polyed. You're dead. You're gone. You can hit the flash, but it's far too late.
Hey, look, menu bomb.
Smooth gameplay.
Just sound like one
But
of
if
those
I
hackers.
talk like this, I'm almost back at my normal level. Ah!
Grab my glasses real quick.
Can't see shit, bro. No, we let it sweat.
What is that? Why is it so dark? It's like a show. Prom Queen Annie.
Is there a TV in the background?
Yo. Oh, it's Malphite. Is that
Oh,
fucking... Is that...
Project Mecha Malphite.
Yeah.
Oh, Mecha Malphite. My brother.
Yeah, gangster. Yes, sir.
Oh, I know what skin it is.
Oh, it's Mecha Malphite.
Mecha Malphite.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's like Malphite.
Malphite?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know the name.
Should we just guess one or what?
Is it like Mecha?
Mecha?
Okay, that was impossible.
Light work.
Played this game like a couple million times.
Should give us champs from our rules, you know what I mean? Okay.
Okay, so they're afraid of something. What would you be afraid of in League?
Hot Jelly Ash on my team.
True.
Oh, prehistoric Kog'Maw? Wait.
Jurassic Cog?
Jurassic
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, it's Jurassic Cho'Gath or whatever the fuck it's called.
How do you know that?
Oh, no, Kog'Maw. It's Kog'Maw. Is that red one? Is that red one?
Red one. Oh, Jurassic Cho'Gath. Oh. Jurassic Kog'Maw? Oh. Yes. Let's go. Not bad. Oh, is it Kog'Maw? It's
Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
How do you know this thing?
Jurassic Kog'Maw, right? Yeah.
Jurassic.
I've just used that skin a lot.
Good job.
Oh, this is a nice skin, this one.
What do you mean? Pokemon the best one?
Yeah, I know, Pokemaw's the best, but this is like the second best.
Are you a cat person?
No, I'm a dog person.
Okay,
Pokemaw's
alright.
a dog.
I'm just saying. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's the best skin ever.
I agree with you. Dude.
Is that a tail?
Oh.
No.
Maybe like a water champion?
A water champion. Does it look like a fish?
Luxian. Sweaty Lux.
No. Can we please get a zoom out?
Oh, Uncle Rise. Yeah. Huh?
Oh, it's the Rise skin.
Rise.
It's
Which one's?
It's the Rise skin.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Rise. That's Rise.
Yeah, it's
Rise.
Uncle
Rise.
Rise. Yeah, you got
Uncle
it.
Rise, yeah.
It's your main, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not American Rise. It's like Pride. No.
Oh, Uncle Rise.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, sir. My first one. Come on now.
Amazing Rise. Sherman Rise.
It's called Uncle Rise.
Is that actually? I would never have got that.
Yeah, easy.
5 out of 6. Okay, that's pretty good. Wow.
That's pretty good.
If only we could do that on like League.
I don't think many people would have got the Mecha Malphite one. Second frame, maybe some people, but I feel like we were pretty good on that one.
I saw the LCO ones and they're like unguessable.
Yeah, that was.
And Athena's guessing them. I'm just like,
That was
is that
crazy.
human?
Was that it?
Are we better than the rest?
We were cooking.
Not bad.
I was gonna make a joke.
How do you guys think it went?